ministries also. So they all came, and we started the meeting at 11:30.
How many secretaries, sir?
So
13.
let me see. I left that. I can tell. Probably more actually. वो लिस्ट थी मेरे पास एक वहाँ पर मेरे टेबल पे शायद हो. So yeah, easily maybe it's 13. Maybe the correct number आता है. Let us see. But it's a fairly large number, and I can give you some examples. I mean, 5 from the finance ministry. So you got the DEA, expenditure, revenue, DFS, and DIPAM. So this finance. Then IT, telecommunications, RD. So it's a fairly large number of secretaries. They all stayed through the day. In between, only briefly for an hour or so, the finance secretaries from the finance ministry had to go because finance minister was taking a meeting at 3 o'clock. But other than that, so first we did a meeting with everybody in this room from 11:30 to 1:30. 1:30 was the time, but 1:15. The time was still 1:15. But yeah, no, I got it. Yeah, no, I got it.
Also came, sir.
Sorry.
Finance minister also came.
I'll tell you. I'm getting there. So initially in the morning we started with this. So but we went over. So meeting lasted till 1:40. So in this room we went around. Experts gave their views, and then the secretaries gave counter views and all, or reinforced or whatever they made their remarks. Then we broke for lunch about at 1:40. Had lunch, and starting 2:30 we divided all of the participants into 3 separate groups. One was agriculture, second was and these are the subjects that the Prime Minister was keen on. Second was jobs, skills and education, and third was budget related issues. Then so they all went into separate 3 rooms. All 3 rooms were completely full, and a lot of subsequent discussion happened there. There I also emphasized. I went from one room to the other, so all 3 I had to cover. And there we tried to emphasize, particularly to the outside experts, that they ought to have very clear thoughts with them, that sharp, crisp bullet points. Because when we meet the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister, so Finance Minister also came, so Prime Minister and Finance Minister both were there in the final meeting. But the instructions to the outside experts were that we should crystallize our thoughts out of all the discussions to about 3 or 4 bullet points, because each one of the experts will have about 3 to 4 minutes to give their thoughts. So that was done very meticulously and very precisely, and I'm pleased to say that in the end, when we sat down, we conducted the meeting in a very, very smooth sort of way. We figured out all the order of the speakers and all. So we simply, after the Prime Minister came in, we started off. I gave 4 or 5 minutes of introduction, describing to him the process that I have just described to you, that this is what we did through the day. He was very keen to know because it was a new format, so he was. So I briefed him on how we conducted this, and then immediately I started. So my remarks were no more than 4 minutes or so, and then all the speakers spoke. First we did agriculture, then we did the jobs, skills and education, and lastly we went to the budget set of issues. So that's the roadmap. Then, of course, once that was done, Finance Minister spoke for 2 minutes, very brief remarks by the Finance Minister, and after that the Prime Minister spoke for about 15 minutes or so. So that's the description of what we did. Now if you want to know what kind of suggestions were made, I can at least give you the flavor of, we can't, it's very hard to tell you.
What did he say?
You want to know only what the Prime Minister said?
No. Those were the suggestions that came in.
Okay. So let me give you a few of these. So on agriculture, the experts focused on measures to meet the stated goals of doubling farmer income by 2022. Some of the suggestions were agricultural marketing reforms was a very important, and this is where all the APMC reforms issues came up. How to provide better prices, how we should give farmers the freedom to market their produce, how they should be allowed to sell to private wholesale markets. There are some suggestions also on shift towards high-value agricultural products, greater market support and price support schemes. Some discussion of micro irrigation, digital payments to farmers. So that's, gives you some flavor for agriculture. On jobs, skills and education. So on agriculture, we had two experts there. Then job, skills and education, I think we had about 5 speakers on that subject. All of them stressed the need to bring firms into formal, organized sector, since that will lead to growth in well-paying, productive jobs. So it's at least, particularly of the 5, the first 3 speakers.
तो आप सुन रहे थे अमिताभ कांत को, सीईओ नीति आयोग। उन्होंने बताया कैसे मीटिंग रही काफी स्मूथ। 13 एक्सपर्ट्स अलग अलग क्षेत्र के लोग वहां पर मौजूद थे और उन्होंने सभी स्पीच दी। साथ ही प्रधानमंत्री भी इस बैठक में थे। लगभग 15 मिनट की स्पीच उनकी रही। सभी चीजों का जायजा उन्होंने लिया। टैक्सेशन को लेकर भी बातचीत हुई, शिक्षा, साथ ही जॉब, स्किल्स, एजुकेशन के रोल को लेकर भी वहां पर बातचीत हुई।